Hi, my name is Lovell Revels. I'm a local filmmaker here in Cincinnati, Ohio. I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. Um, Went to Bowling Green State University, so I lived up there for about 4 years. Well, you know how it is. You live up there for school and then come back in the summertime, but came back to Cincinnati and been home ever since. I grew up in Mount Healthy. I would say I got interested in filmmaking when I was a kid in elementary school. I used to want to be an actor, and I used to daydream in class like, hey, I'm going to be on this TV show, or I'm going to be on Arthur, or I'm going to be on South Park, just watching. I had regular TV growing up, so I used to watch Arthur a lot and say, hey, I'm going to be on that, or I'm going to make something similar to that on that show. Watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air religiously, or whenever I can catch it come on. And I used to, back then we had VHS tapes, and so I used to like record it, and then when I couldn't catch it, I'll play it when I got home or get bored. So it's always want to be on like a sitcom show, like In the House or Moesha or the Wayans Brothers. So those are like my shows that I would watch and inspire me to move forward in the filmmaking career. I would say it started maybe like 2017. I reached out to a filmmaking group called B3C, and they welcomed me with open arms. I was trying to find like-minded people that were into filmmaking, and I, just randomly one day at work, what's some filmmaking groups in Cincinnati, and that was like the first one I saw, and they welcomed me with open arms and got to do behind the scenes work with Alicia Redmond, Bernard Fields on this film called Game Night, and I've been rocking and rolling ever since, and I would say full time since 2022. I've been doing this full time. So a lot of the projects that I do, I usually write my projects. Most of the time I'll direct it. Some projects I've had other directors, for example, with Josiah Johnson. He directed a couple of my projects that I worked on. But as far as like my process, it's different for each one. It really just depends on, where I'm at or what type of mood I'm in. Like as far as like a writing process, sometimes it's like I have to be compartmentalized, or I have to be isolated from everybody so I can stay focused and get the writing done. That's the hard part. You have all these ideas in your head, but it's like getting them out on paper and making them make sense and doing the draft and, hey, does this character sound believable, or does this situation seem realistic? It's just getting through those thoughts and then wrestling that. But yeah, each process is just different. It just really depends. Like if like a drama, I might have to get in the mood for that. I might have to watch like Love and Hip Hop or something like that. Or if I'm writing like something scary, I might have to watch Scream. Or if I want to watch something, or if I want to write something funny, I might have to watch Friday or a comedy or something like that. So it's different for each project for me. So I went to Bowling Green. I'll be honest with you, wasn't very. College was not in my plans, but I went for my mom, so she kind of like set up everything for me, and she said, "Hey, they have like an acting, directing major at Bowling Green State University." So okay, I'll do that. Turns out it was for theater, so. That was a interesting process as far as my 4-year experience at Bowling Green. But I stuck it out. But they had film classes that I could take. So I took a few film classes, and the film students was like, "Hey, you're a film student. Why are you in theater?" And it's just like, well, I'm in my junior year now, so it's just like I don't want to switch my majors, and I don't want to graduate on time. So. But yeah, I didn't even know it at the time. Like I was just like, hey, because again, I wanted to be an actor around that time. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be behind the cameras or anything like that. It really just the bug hit me randomly. I would say like in like 2014, 2015. I was on YouTube and I seen this page called Film Riot, and they had these cameras, and it's just like, oh, that camera is affordable, and I can make movies myself. I don't have to, spend $10,000, $20,000 to do that. I can do this myself. So that's when the bug like really hit me again, and that's when I drifted and looked up film groups and got in touch with B3C. For what you want to do, because information is so accessible now, you don't have to go to a school to learn it. You can go on YouTube and watch a video and type it in. You can learn that way. And I'm not really, I don't know, I need to figure out if I got like ADD or something like that. But when I'm in like a classroom setting, I don't know, like I zone out sometimes. And I don't know, it's like when you apply for a job, right? And it says, do you have any experience? And it's just like, well, how can I get experience if you don't hire me? You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, okay, I'm gonna do it myself, and I learn doing it by myself versus going to classroom. You can, take a class. I mean, I'm pretty sure like, you go to a class and it's just like, am I ever gonna use this in life sometimes? Or you go to a class and it's like, I got all the information, but what am I gonna do with it? I'm gonna go out for a job. I went to this class, and now it's just like I'm going for this job, and you're not gonna hire me because I don't have any experience. So with accessible information, and then being able to do it yourself, I feel like for me personally, that's a lot easier. But sometimes it's just when it comes to like a master class, when someone's been a professional in this field for a long time, then I think it's worth going to those classes because they may have some tricks and techniques that you may not find on a YouTube or one of those videos where people say, hey, I'm a professional, want to make 20K in a month or whatever, those type of videos. So, yeah. I know it's going to sound cliche, but I would say filmmakers like Tyler Perry, what he was able to do as far as on the business side, that's where I'm more at myself, on the business side. So what he was able to do from stage plays to where he is right now, having his own studio, making his own movies, and being a billionaire from that's inspirational. Whether you like his films or not, I mean, you have to give him a pat on the back for what he was able to accomplish and make it realistic for folks in our community. So Tyler Perry is definitely one. I would say Childish Gambino, Donald Glover. He's one. I like Atlanta and what he was able to do as far as creating a show in Atlanta and getting a deal with, I think, Amazon. That's inspirational. Issa Rae, what she was able to do with Insecure, how she started off on YouTube, went to HBO, and now has her own production deal. So those are my influences, and that's where I want to get to one day. I want to write something. Right now, it's just I'm more on the drama side, navigating towards the comedy side, but just any type of story in general. If I see something, or if I hear an idea and I'm like, wow, that needs to be a story, or that I can turn that into something, that inspires me. One of my favorite stories from the project that I created is called Percentage of Love, which started off which actually was a film competition called Winter Film 2023. So we had to write that in less than a week. I wrote that in like one day because we started off with one script, and then that wasn't working out, and then we had like 2 weeks to shoot something and edit it. So I had to come up with something real quick, and it ended up turning out real nice. It's like a rom-com type of film, which is first I ever tackled on that one. So a lot of some collaborations that I really like, Bernard Fields, I worked on a lot of his projects. Jumper Guy is one of the ones that comes to my head. Josiah Johnson, me and him collaborated on a lot of projects. So he was director of Percentage of Love, and he was also a director in another project called Power of Music that we did last year. Brianna Gibson, Hosea Stanford. Jose is like my main actor for like majority of my films. So shout out to him. He's in Atlanta right now, killing it. So we actually did a project called Out of Bounds. They were like the producers on it, and I was able to write and direct it. So they made that process very easy. They did all the casting and everything. So it was just like, okay, I don't have to wear, bajillion hats on this particular project because I was able to have them as a reliable resource, and they did it. So what do I think about the film scene in Cincinnati? It's not that bad. I honestly think we have a lot of talented people here in Cincinnati, honestly. But for some reason, we're segregated. And it's not just within like the Black filmmakers, it's also like as a whole community. So one of my goals is if I see someone that's working on something, I just reach out to them and I say, hey, if you need me to help out with something, I'll just say, hey, I can do like behind the scenes work for you, or this is what I can offer. And I just try to extend some type of hand because I want to, put us together and be able to work together to build something here. So you guys mentioned earlier about Sundance coming to Cincinnati. That's a big opportunity. My only concern about that is now for the Cincinnati people that's here, that's less eyeballs that's gonna be on you because now everybody from, LA, Chicago, the major players, they're gonna come to Cincinnati. And I don't want that to get oversaturated what we have here because I feel like for example, Independent should be our Sundance. I feel like that's a good film festival, and I think it's like rising year after year after year. I feel like that should be our Sundance, and I feel like we need to put ourselves on the map. I feel like if Sundance gets here, it's just I'm concerned about the filmmakers that's going to be here because now you have more competition within your own city. So it's going to be hard to compete, and it's going to be hard to get eyeballs on you now. So that's where I'm at. I wish that we were more collaborative here in Cincinnati. You got people that are, directors, DP, and that's all they want to do. We need to get rid of our egos and say, hey, if someone's doing a project, you may not like being a grip, but be a grip for their project. You know what I mean? So like, I'm getting tired of doing projects where it's just like, okay, I have to wear multiple hats because other people that I know that are filmmakers, they don't want to do other type of work because they feel like it's beneath them. And I'll just say, hey, wherever you need me, I'm there for you. If you need me to, be a PA, I can be a PA. If you need me to be a director, I'll be a director. I don't mind doing that. But yeah, that's where I'm at. That's my soapbox for it. I feel like if you're from Cincinnati, it's undescribable why we're like this, but someone's described to me it's the energy in Cincinnati. I don't know what it is, but it's just, we want to be at the top, but we don't want to work together to get there for some reason, which is weird, and we know it. I mean, everybody that's watching this, you know it. You guys know if you're from Cincinnati, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think it just takes, no one wants to sacrifice, and that's what it takes. It takes people sacrificing their egos and working together and being able to make it to the top. I still have a optimism of being able to make it here in Cincinnati. I don't think Cincinnati is a bad place. I just feel like we just need to, get out of our own heads sometimes. But I do think it's, a good place to be able to establish yourself as an artist or as a filmmaker. So right now I'm working on screening a movie at the Esquire. That's gonna be my next goal. I'm still like in the process of figuring that out right now. As far as we just did a film festival last month, which was major for us, and that's next year. We're gonna do that as well. I'm currently writing a lot of projects, but I don't have them fully fleshed out. So it's just like again, I need to isolate myself from everything and get those written out and do these projects. But sometimes it's kind of hard because sometimes it's a little expensive to do because you have to pay for these locations, and sometimes you have to pay for, if you want to get good work, you have to pay for that. So coming up with the funds for that, and yeah, so I'm definitely gonna have some more projects, but it's just in the future. But that's my goals for next year. Get some projects done and screen some of the films that I worked on currently. My ultimate dream is to be able to have my own production company within Cincinnati. That's my ultimate goal, my ultimate dream. I don't want to go to Hollywood. I don't feel like I need to go to Atlanta. I feel like we can do everything here. And that's my dream. I'm a big believer in that. Yeah, so the Two Fresh Film Fest is the film festival that we presented in September. It got started. Jose at Stanford reached out to me. He asked me to write a script for him because he's leaving off to Atlanta. And I was like, sure, I got you. You know, you worked on a lot of projects for me, so this is the least I can do for you. So he said, hey, I'm going to add this actress. Her name is Brianna Gibson. I was like, okay, yeah, I worked with Brianna before. She's cool. So he was like, okay, well, I'll find a location, and I'll find, all you got to do is write it. I'll get the location, I'll do the casting. So, okay, say less. So we shot the film, and Jose was like, hey, I leave out in a couple of weeks, but I want to be able to screen this film to, the people that worked on it. I want to do a premiere. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So usually we do our premieres at the library. So he was like, no, I want to do it at an actual movie theater. I was like, okay. So we were finding local theaters to shoot it to screen it at, and they were a little expensive. And we came across William Francis Theater in Elmwood Place off of Vine Street. He was like, hey, I like the idea, come shoot it here. And that's what we did. And then Jose was like, oh, do you want to do a premiere? I was like, yeah, we can do a premiere here. And then he was like, I was like, I don't know. He was trying to charge money to so we can pay back to our actors and they have an audience to come. So I was like, I don't know if we have if Out of Bounds, the film that we shot, if it will be long enough. Let's include other filmmakers as well, and let's do a film festival. And he was like, oh yeah, it's a great idea. So long story short, that's how it became. Yep, next year, so this will be annual, so it'll be every year. We'll do a film festival. So the advice I would give to an up-and-coming filmmaker is to always believe in yourself. Always go with your gut. There's gonna be a lot of naysayers. It's gonna be a lot of obstacles that you're gonna have to overcome. But just get through it. You'll be able to do it. And just keep the hope, belief alive. This can be overwhelming. You can get exhausted. I've been there. Just get back up and keep striving, and you'll eventually get there.